It's as if at each point that nothing is in equilibrium. It's as if at each point of the planet, something strange, dangerous, came up, making you fear what is to come. We've never said that the process would be simple and easy, and it won't be. You must review everything you learned and everything that you emanate from your heart. Love must begin to ultimately reign over the planet. This feeling has been forgotten, modified, limited, conditioned, and many other adjectives characterize it. We know that divine order is arriving on this planet in force and intensity. Each child of Father, Mother, God has the right to everything, with no restrictions, limitations, or having to follow orders. Today, it's not easy for many to get rid of the vices. It's not easy, and it won't be easy, aside from the mind's disbelief in this world. Their involvement with these habits and vices is so significant that it would require a tremendous spiritual retreat to clean everything from their minds and bodies. And it wouldn't be easy. It would be a rather painful process. When we always say here that the separation of the wheat from the chaff will occur, it indeed will, because many won't bother to change. They will want to continue as they are because that brings happiness. Happiness or a mask, so they won't face their own issues and weaknesses. All will be respected. No one will be forced to do anything. Everyone will have the option of going to one side or the other. There's no middle path. There's no way to remain up on the wall, for there is no wall. There are two directions. One direction leads to ascension and evolution, and the other direction will keep you on the third dimension. But in that case, not here on this planet. Each one who chooses the latter path will be taken out of the earth to live in the third dimension in another orb, so that they may continue their journey's learning. Many don't believe that that will take place. They think that the planet will live concomitantly. Those living in the third dimension and others living in the fifth dimension. I tell you that this idea doesn't exist. This planet will ascend. The third dimension will remain only with the vibrational energy of the lowest frequency, but with no one living in it. There won't be any living human beings, animals, or anything living in this dimension, for the planet will ascend. It will be a fifth-dimensional planet. Therefore, there isn't the slightest possibility of remaining here on this planet in the third dimension. There is a light that now reaches this planet is transformative. It's a light that is pushing you against the wall. There's no way to escape it. It's as if light pushed you against the wall and asked, "What path do you want to follow?" And you will have to have an answer. If the answer is, "I don't know," we will enable you to get to know everything awaiting you on one side and the other. Still, the day will come when the light again pushes you against the wall and asks, "What path do you want to follow?" And then a choice must be made, and different courses will be taken according to that choice. We certainly wish to clearly show the world awaiting you, and the advantages of going to this world and following this path. But even so, we know many won't want to. They will consider it a dull, monotonous world with no exciting experiences. Within an empty concept of what it is like to live in the fifth dimension, each one might perceive it in this way. However, you have no idea what it is like to live within love only, trying to bring the light to those who need it. It is a never-ending job, and we carry it out with great pleasure and joy in our hearts. Being an evolved being from relatively high dimensions, we never suffer, get upset, and never fight because all we think about is the well-being of the whole and the universe. And when one thinks about the well-being of the universe, that rapidly reverberates to each of us. That feeling of love and accomplished duty fills our chests with even more light. Is this a monotonous life? Not at all. We don't act on this planet only. We work on many orbs of the universe. We might say that, at the moment, there is greater attention on this planet Earth, for it is in a stage of evolution and ascension. Therefore, everyone is here cooperating with Gaia, giving her all the support, energy, strength, and light for her to ascend. As a result, all this energy and light is passed on to its inhabitants. Gaia is happy when she feels a child chooses the light path alongside her. She starts to protect and hug this child, giving her support, strength, understanding, and courage to follow away with her towards the fifth dimension. Gaia weeps for the others and gets sad, for she will lose many children. Indeed, Gaia will lose many children who will choose to remain in the third dimension. However, they will not stay here. Therefore, she weeps. Gaia weeps for these children, but Gaia also understands that choice and path are part of each soul's evolution. Nothing is compulsory or planned for each one. It is the soul's choice. The option is up to each soul's higher self, who knows at what point the soul is. Is it ready to evolve or remain in the third dimension? I can say that today each one is against the wall. The light has already pushed against the wall. No one will stay behind. We will be asking until the last moment. What is your choice? So that we can take most souls and change their minds. But this is our job, not yours. As we have been saying here, each one must look after oneself. It's nobody's job to indoctrinate anyone. No one must be forced. No one must try to explain to anyone, for that must come from the inside. This decision must come from the soul, from the overself. Forget others' paths. Take care of your children, though. They rely on you, but be sure that almost all of them already know they are going to the fifth dimension. He all have that feeling. They just don't know how to say it. But take care of your children. Still, I repeat once more, almost all of them are already in the fifth dimension, regardless of whether their parents are going or not. It doesn't seem to be an exciting subject, but each child born on this planet at the moment has got a mission. They are a point of light on the surface, and they know it, and at the right moment, they will remember the mission they came to fulfill here. They are children in a physical body, not in the soul or mind. Their souls are exceptionally evolved, and they will remember the mission they came here to fulfill at the right moment. They won't rely, under no circumstances, on their parents. They chose to be born here, They know this and will fulfill their missions with much love. There is only unconditional love within them. Therefore, take care of your children, but don't worry about them, for they know what to do. Thus, may each one look after his own path and make the only choice. There's no middle ground. The options are to ascend or to remain. There are no other choices. Thank you for watching. We love you so much.
Thank you so much to connect with me. I love to connect with you. And today we will speak about the energies and most important, the shift in the frequencies and in the timelines. And this time it is possible to fall in a timeless space, and everything about this in a moment. And first, a warm welcome to you, and please write in the chat from where you are. It's always very exciting to see that we are connecting together, the whole world, and that's really amazing. And today it is about the splitting of the worlds, and some people feel it more conscious, and some people do not really understand what is happening and what is coming, and that is most important. And we can feel and see that the world on the outside is changing, and it is changing fundamentally. And we can experience more than ever the differences in the worlds, and more those dark and deep and heavy kind of living a life, and the other side is the more expanded and conscious way of living the new time, the new timelines really. And we can experience this difference very much. And now it is possible in a way like never before to fall in a timeless space. And it's really amazing because when I fall in this timeless space, there is no time anymore for me. And I cannot say, is it now Friday or is it Sunday? It is really amazing to be in the space. And this space is the timeline of the new earth, and we can now connect more, um, more clearly with those timelines. And in those timelines, we also experience another frequency, and also our brain has to be in another frequency. But more about this in a moment. And a warm welcome for all those people who came later, and I'm so happy and to connect to you. And I see Slovenia, Norway, USA, Dubai. It's really amazing, and really fantastic to connect to everybody. And if you want a weekly energetic and astrological update, I have a free newsletter, and it's really a nice newsletter. You can receive it every week when you sign up for this newsletter. It is free, and there you get a lot of information about the energies, also the Vedic astrology aspects, and also other informations. And you can sign up everything about newsletter in the info box below the video. And I also have a heart community we started now, and there I share more information every week, and we have 1 to 2 live streams every month where you can connect more deeply with me and ask me your personal questions. And if you are interested in this heart community membership, then you can also find all those information in the info box below the video. Yes, and if you have any question, please write them down here in the chat, and then if I have any answer for you, I will give it to you. Yes, and now let's start. What's about with the timelines? Because those timelines split more and more in different directions. It is like 2 trains that started at the same place, and now we can see each other in the train, sitting in the trains, and we can connect together by looking to the other train, but the splitting of the trains will go further and further, and one day we cannot see one another. And the most important to understand about timelines is that those timelines are not outside, like we often think that timelines, they are somewhere far away and you can choose this timeline or this timeline. No, that's not really true, because those timelines, they exist in you. And this is the only place you can connect with timelines. It is all about your frequency. If you are in the frequency of the timeline, and if you are conscious, then you can conscious choose your frequency, and you can conscious choose your timeline. And not everybody can understand those concepts. And a lot of people who are really very, very deep in those in fears, and also in those negative ideas, and they feel like a victim all of their life. For them people, it's really not easy to understand those concepts and to understand that they are free and that they can choose another one. But before I start, I want to give you a short astrological update, because tomorrow we have a super full moon. The moon is very near to the earth, and so it shines really big and bright. And when the moon is nearer to the earth, we also can feel more emotional, because the moon is about emotions and our feelings, and also our awareness we have. And with the full moon, there it always brings some light in the darkness, and this full moon will happen in the sign of Sagittarius, and I'm speaking of Vedic astrology, and it will happen in Germany. It is about in the afternoon. I do not really know what it is in the US time zone, but it happens at 70 degrees, and in a special lunar mansion in Vedic astrology, we have those mansions, those nakshatras, and this is called Purva Ashada. And with Purva Ashada, where the moon sits, it is all about finding your truth. And sometimes this also brings people to dig deep for the truth, and sometimes not always, they cannot always, if you dig too deep to search for the truth, it is often connected with aggressive emotions, and maybe not always the best way to find your own truth. It is very emotional, because also the planet Mars is in the place of Gandanta, where Mars shifts from the sign of Cancer to the sign of Leo, and this degrees in the zodiac, those fixed stars that are behind those placements, they are called the Hydra. I told you in the last videos, and this is really very emotional and could be also that you can feel deceived with those energies, and it triggers a lot of deep, deep feelings that you might have um, pressed down and do not really want to feel. And with this energy cocktail, they might come up, and you can experience a lot of also sadness, maybe, and also with Saturn in opposite the next days, you can also not only the next days, the next month is Mars in opposite of Saturn, and this can also trigger a lot of feelings that it does not really go forward. You want to move forward because Mars is in the sign of Leo, and it is a fire sign, and so we can feel more active, like the last weeks where we felt maybe not so active, and this can also uh, bring up some breakdowns, and because Saturn stops the motions of the Mars, and so it's a little bit difficult to move really forward. There might be some obstacles, and sorry for my English. And thank you for all your beautiful comments. And if you have any questions, please write them down. Then I try to help you in any way. But what is it all about with those timelines and these shifts? Because this new earth and this new energy we want to experience, and a lot of people who are listening today, they are in those higher frequency realms, and they can easily connect to those higher timelines. But it is all about your frequency, and most important, it is the gamma frequency. It is a brainwave frequency that you need to reach those higher levels of consciousness, and the easiest way to reach those timelines of the new earth, is about to use the formula. And you might have heard of Bashar. Bashar is a channeled entity, and Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, it is a Sasani-like being, and he spoke of this formula, and this formula is really important, and I experienced it also in my life as my truth, that this formula is most important to achieve those higher timelines. And this means to get yourself in the gamma state, you have to follow your excitement. And there are some parts in this formula that are really important, and not a lot of people understand them fully, because a lot of people know, yes, I should follow my excitement, I should do what I feel is most important for me in my life, but they often forget the other parts of this very important formula. And this means, yes, it is most important to do what you love and what you feel most excited about. But this is not sometimes a big project or something like your life purpose. It is all about doing every day, from morning to evening, the things that brings you most joy and makes you feel happy. And this can be some small things, like going out with your dog in nature, or maybe to meditate, or maybe to eat something, or really simple things. But do always the things that gives you most joy. That's really important. And this is only one part of this formula, and this formula helps you to establish this gamma state, And if you are in this gamma state, then you connect to those new timelines and to connect to this timeless space. It's really amazing. And maybe you might experience this timeless space where you feel totally connected to the universe and like you shifted out of this normal reality.
That nothing is in equilibrium. It's as if at each point of the planet, something strange, dangerous, came up, making you fear what is to come. We've never said that the process would be simple and easy, and it won't be. You must review everything you learned and everything that you emanate from your heart. Love must begin to ultimately reign over the planet. This feeling has been forgotten, modified, limited, conditioned, and many other adjectives characterize it. We know that divine order is arriving on this planet in force and intensity. Each child of Father, Mother, God has the right to everything, with no restrictions, limitations, or having to follow orders. Today, it's not easy for many to get rid of the vices. It's not easy, and it won't be easy, aside from the mind's disbelief in this world. Their involvement with these habits and vices is so significant that it would require a tremendous spiritual retreat to clean everything from their minds and bodies. And it wouldn't be easy. It would be a rather painful process. When we always say here that the separation of the wheat from the chaff will occur, it indeed will, because many won't bother to change. They will want to continue as they are because that brings happiness. Happiness or a mask, so they won't face their own issues and weaknesses. All will be respected. No one will be forced to do anything. Everyone will have the option of going to one side or the other. There's no middle path. There's no way to remain up on the wall, for there is no wall. There are two directions. One direction leads to ascension and evolution, and the other direction will keep you on the third dimension. But in that case, not here on this planet. Each one who chooses the latter path will be taken out of the earth to live in the third dimension in another orb, so that they may continue their journey's learning. Many don't believe that that will take place. They think that the planet will live concomitantly. Those living in the third dimension and others living in the fifth dimension. I tell you that this idea doesn't exist. This planet will ascend. The third dimension will remain only with the vibrational energy of the lowest frequency, but with no one living in it. There won't be any living human beings, animals, or anything living in this dimension, for the planet will ascend. It will be a fifth-dimensional planet. Therefore, there isn't the slightest possibility of remaining here on this planet in the third dimension. There is a light that now reaches this planet is transformative. It's a light that is pushing you against the wall. There's no way to escape it. It's as if light pushed you against the wall and asked, "What path do you want to follow?" And you will have to have an answer. If the answer is, "I don't know," we will enable you to get to know everything awaiting you on one side and the other. Still, the day will come when the light again pushes you against the wall and asks, "What path do you want to follow?" And then a choice must be made, and different courses will be taken according to that choice. We certainly wish to clearly show the world awaiting you, and the advantages of going to this world and following this path. But even so, we know many won't want to. They will consider it a dull, monotonous world with no exciting experiences. Within an empty concept of what it is like to live in the fifth dimension, each one might perceive it in this way. However, you have no idea what it is like to live within love only, trying to bring the light to those who need it. It is a never-ending job, and we carry it out with great pleasure and joy in our hearts. Being an evolved being from relatively high dimensions, we never suffer, get upset, and never fight because all we think about is the well-being of the whole and the universe. And when one thinks about the well-being of the universe, that rapidly reverberates to each of us. That feeling of love and accomplished duty fills our chests with even more light. Is this a monotonous life? Not at all. We don't act on this planet only. We work on many orbs of the universe. We might say that at the moment there is greater attention on this planet Earth, for it is in a stage of evolution and ascension. Therefore, everyone is here cooperating with Gaia, giving her all the support, energy, strength, and light for her to ascend. As a result, all this energy and light is passed on to its inhabitants. Gaia is happy when she feels a child chooses the light path alongside her. She starts to protect and hug this child, giving her support, strength, understanding, and courage to follow a way with her towards the fifth dimension. Gaia weeps for the others and gets sad, for she will lose many children. Indeed, Gaia will lose many children who will choose to remain in the third dimension. However, they will not stay here. Therefore, she weeps. Gaia weeps for these children, but Gaia also understands that choice and path are part of each soul's evolution. Nothing is compulsory or planned for each one. It is the soul's choice. The option is up to each soul's higher self, who knows at what point that soul is. Is it ready to evolve or remain in the third dimension? I can say that today each one is against the wall. The light has already pushed against the wall. No one will stay behind. We will be asking until the last moment, what is your choice? So that we can take most souls and change their minds. But this is our job, not yours. As we have been saying here, each one must look after oneself. It's nobody's job to indoctrinate anyone. No one must be forced. No one must try to explain to anyone, for that must come from the inside. This decision must come from the soul, from the overself. Forget others' parts. Take care of your children, though. They rely on you, but be sure that almost all of them already know they are going to the fifth dimension. He all have that feeling. They just don't know how to say it. But take care of your children. Still, I repeat once more, almost all of them are already in the fifth dimension, regardless of whether their parents are going or not. It doesn't seem to be an exciting subject, but each child born on this planet at the moment has got a mission. They are a point of light on the surface, and they know it, and at the right moment, They will remember the mission they came to fulfill here. They are children in the physical body, not in the soul or mind. Their souls are exceptionally evolved, and they will remember the mission they came here to fulfill at the right moment. They won't rely, under no circumstances, on their parents. They chose to be born here. They know this and will fulfill their missions with much love. There is only unconditional love within them. Therefore, take care of your children, but don't worry about them, for they know what to do. Thus, may each one look after his own path and make the only choice. There's no middle ground. The options are to ascend or to remain. There are no other choices. Thank you for watching. We love you so much.
You timelines and to connect to this timeless space. It's really amazing.
So weird.
And maybe you might experience this timeless space where you feel totally connected to the universe and like you shifted out of this normal reality into a space where only everything is fine in this moment and nothing matters anymore. It is really like disconnecting from our physical world. You can experience this in that way. And like I told you, most important it is this gamma, gamma frequency. And for this, the first part is to follow your excitement. But the next part is also important to do it as best as you can do it, as fully as you can do it. Not to do it a little bit, to do it really fully. This is the, the next really important part you should do if you want to activate those special frequencies. So you do not only what you love to do, what you are excited to do, and what feels best for you, you also do it as much as possible. Like you cannot go further. Maybe there are some borders you cannot do more because then you get tired and you have to sleep or something else hinders you. But as at most as you can do, you should do it. This is the second part of the formula. And then there is also a third part of the formula. And this means you should have zero expectations because expectations or insistence, this leads you that you can only be disappointed for everything. If you only, maybe if you draw a picture and you only do it to get a perfect piece of art, then you will always be disappointed, and that's not really good. And this brings your frequency down to the ground. And so it is really important to do it because you feel excited about to do it. That's really the most important. And the universe will reflect this back in any way. Maybe sometimes there is a delay in bringing it back to you, because we are in a physical world and those things do not really happen as soon as they can. But if you do it, then the universe will reflect it back in a great way. And I experience it so often in my life. Everything I give to others, like those live streams, it comes back in thousand thousand ways. It comes back to me. Yes, but now I will just start. This is the third part of this formula, and this is really important to do all three parts, to follow your excitement and always, every day, and then to do it as much as possible, like you cannot do it more, and then to not have any expectations and any insistence, because the universe can bring you back so much more and so much better things than you think. But if you have insistence or expectations, then this is a border and nothing goes on. And this lowers your frequency. So this is most important. And this brings you to this timeless space and to these timelines of the new earth. And they are really now important with all those energy shifts we are experiencing right now. So use this technique, use these methods, use those things to bring you in gamma brainwave state. And also, if you are interested, I have an mediumship education certification course, and we want to start in summer, but now we start at the 10th of October. And if you want to be part of this online course, we connect with Zoom every week, and also you have little videos where I explain everything that is needed to connect yourself to your higher self, because your higher self is your higher version of yourself. This is most important, to connect to the spiritual world. And there are also your spirit guides. Those are the next level. And you learn in this course to connect to all, and then to your spiritual guides, and then also to other star seeds and other dimensions and other realms. There we do a lot of astral travels and guided meditations to connect to all those beings. And if you are interested, this is a course you can start. It is open worldwide. Everybody can join it if you want. We have also first call if you want to know more about this education, about the certification program. Then you can sign up for, you can choose a date, a call, initial call, and then we can look if this one is right for you. But now I will start to look if you have any questions and if I can help you in any way. And I have some questions. Dear Sylvia, thank you very much. Please, can you tell me how the terrible devastation situation for the Myanmar Burma people revolution will go on? I wish I could go back soon. Oh, Paul, so sorry. I'm not sure. I do not have heard about this situation, but we also have with those energies, I forgot to tell you, maybe in USA you do not know so much, but in France we have really a revolution. It is like a civil war, what people there experience. It's really amazing. And this is those violent energies of Mars in this Gandanta point. Like I told you before, it's really very strong and also connected emotional to the supermoon, and also to those energies who are very active now. And also we have a finger of God, a finger of God. This is always about the destiny of humanity that we can experience now with Pluto and also Mars and Neptune. And this is about breaking off old structures and also a big shift, a big transformation we experience now. And maybe this also happens in Myanmar, in Burma, and I hope those people they are safe as much as possible. I will look after this event after the video. I did not really know, but I know Burma is really a high frequency country, and this is not really good that there are so much violence energies. But I will look at it, and maybe if I get any information from the spiritual world, I will share with you. Praying for France, yes, praying for those people. I saw some a video short before this live stream today, and I thought it's really amazing when you look what's happening there in the streets, in the cities. That's really not nice to see. Yes, and those energies we have it through the summer. We have not only in July those extreme energies, and July is really heavy. We also have in August really extreme energies. It's not really easy. Yes, I just love the way you say astrology. Oh, sorry, it might really be a little bit strange, but I cannot. Yes, I have to learn it. Sometimes I need to hear those words more, then I can share it. And I also have an astrology course if you want to be part. I do it with Sarah Costa. She's really also an amazing astrologer, and we start with the astrology course on September 13th, 17th of September, I think, if you are interested. Then you can learn everything about Vedic astrology. And we start with looking, analyzing our birth chart. This is the course. It is all about learning the planets and what they mean. And it's really you can learn so much if you know what the planet means, because those energies of the planets we also experience them in us. They are part of our energy system. Everything outside in the universe is not really outside. It is inside of you. Everything. The universe really, you can experience the universe only in you. Yes, and also the tree of life, the Kabbalah, everything. I studied a lot of those energy and mystical practice you can do. And I also have a course in German where we practice all those rituals with the yes, with the five star and also the 6 star, the hexagon. And those are really amazing. And then to connect to the angels, the archangels, and do those holy mantras. It's really amazing. But I just do it in German this time. Okay, let's start with some questions. When we change into another version of ourselves, what happens to the version that was there before? And this is really a good energy. Will ET contact be more with these energies? Yes, yes. It is the energy of contact. Absolutely. And I got the question, when we change into another version of ourselves, what happens to the version that was there before? And if you do not understand this question, then it's don't bother you, because it's really amazing, because reality is much more than we can see. And there is not only one earth, and I share it a lot of times with you. There are a lot of versions of earth. because everything exists in the here and now. That means every little movement, every difference in maybe the sun or the moon or something else in your life, every little movement you make with your hands is another version of yourself, because everything exists in the here and now. And so every movement exists at the same time. And so there is a Sylvia doing this, there's a Sylvia doing this, there's a Sylvia doing this, and with you also. So, and everything exists here and now. So it needs a lot of multi millions, billions of versions of yourself and also the earth, because everything is in a different version of earth, because it's not the same earth. If you're doing this, you can only do it in this version of earth, and if you do this, you can only do it in another version of earth. It's amazing if you think about this. And so the question is about, when there are more versions of yourself, what happens to the version that was there before? But you have to understand, because everything exists at the same time, there is no other version who can change in, that you can change in. It is another. It is not possible, because everything is unique in its experience. So you can only experience always yourself. You can never experience yourself as another one. You can experience maybe another version of yourself, maybe also if the frequency goes higher and higher, it is possible for us to shift in a version of Earth where we can maybe watch ourselves doing something, or experience and say hello to another version of ourselves. But more important, I think this will not happen easily at this time, but maybe in 500 years it is possible to connect to those versions. But it's always important, is it relevant for you? Then you can experience those things most. Okay, then let's look to the next question. For example, when a Pleiadian dies, what happens to his physical body? And this is we have to understand that the Pleiades, maybe, for example, there are a lot of other star seeds out there. And what I want to tell you, sorry if I have to make a short break, my star seed card set is now online. You can buy it. And I showed it before, this amazing card set. I'm looking for a nice picture for you. This is maybe a picture of the Yaya. And this is my English version of this card set. I have it in German. But now it is also available in English. Hybrid children, you can see there. And also Orion. You can learn there a lot about the star seeds and the elf energy. You can learn there a lot. And there's also a booklet where you can find everything. You can find, this is the Anunnaki card, and a lot of messages, and also how to connect. It is really a little certification course, only this card deck, because there are connection meditations you can use. And yes, if you want, you can order it. It is in my online shop. You can find. I hope the link is below. But now let's start again. The question was, for example, when a Pleiadian dies, what happens to his physical body? And we have to understand the Pleiades are in different frequencies, in different densities, because we have dimensions and we have densities. Densities are a part of a dimension, because in the fourth dimension, like we are now, we have the third density, and also we have the fourth density. The fifth dimension, we have mainly the fifth density. And the Pleiades are mostly in the fourth density, in the fourth dimension, and also in the fifth dimension, in the fifth density. And this means, the density means that they, in the fifth density, they do not really have a body anymore, only maybe a light body, and then they also shift more and more in a universal consciousness where they experience themselves like a group and not like a one person. But so it is all about, if those Pleiades are in a fourth density, then they have a body, maybe not as physical as we have, but they have a body. And if they die, they can normally, because they are higher in consciousness, they can absorb their physical body and transform it in a light body. And so they do not have, like we have when we die, a dead body. They can transform it. And we also have masters and rishis here on earth, you might know. They also had those ability to to um, to change their body, physical body, into a light body, and then to disappear without any body left. But this is really only if you master those level of energies and energy body, then you can do it. But if you are of a higher consciousness, then you can do it. Okay, now I'm looking what you're writing. So many are seeing activity in the skies these days, more and more. Sylvia, it seems there will be contact soon and something big is coming very soon. What do you think? Yes, I also experience it. More and more people are experiencing this. And I think there was a whistleblower who told that also. I told about Dr. Stephen Greer and his conference, I think 10th to 12th of June. And there were a lot of people who spoke about their experience with extraterrestrials and with UAPs or UFOs or something, how you can call it, those ships. And yes, and now I think there was a whistleblower who spoke about 12 UFOs or UAPs that the government has, the US government has, and that is really amazing. And we will um, um, discover more of those informations. And yes, we have to understand we are not alone here on Earth, and there are extraterrestrials, and they are underground, they are under the sea, and they are in some natural places where nobody, not so much people are. Yes, and I do not think that a big event will happen this year. Maybe at the end of 2026 or the beginning of 2027, there might be a big experience that will shift everything here on the world. But till then, I think it is a personal thing to connect to extraterrestrials. And a lot of people who are listening today, they have a lot of connections because you are go in resonance with my energy, and so you will also have, maybe in your dreams or in a slightly different dimension, have now at this time experiences with ETs. And a lot of those ETs, they have a possibility that if you leave the conversation you have with those people, with those ETs, then you will lose your memory. and do not remember. They have the possibility to that you do not remember those those meetings, and so you cannot remember, but you had those meetings, and more will discover, and a lot of people are experience their ET connections, their ET family, because it's family for us, really. It is our bigger family, and they experience them maybe in astral travel or in lucid dreaming or in normal dreaming or in other way of meditations. Yes, and this will get more and more. Is the 245-year orbital of Pluto going to increase its positive influence on the Aries community? I do not really understand your question. Sorry, maybe it's about my English. I do not. What is the Aries community? Positive. Pluto is really an amazing planet, and it is the furthest away planet. It is all about transformation in another dimension. That's really about those last transformation we have. And this is the energy of Pluto. It's really, really powerful, Pluto. And it is a planet. A lot of science, they speak about Pluto is not a planet, it's only a nebula or something like this. I'm not really sure. But the energy of Pluto is real. What impact does it have on the Aries signs? It has a lot of impact of everyone, because not only Aries can experience Pluto. So you have to look your chart. Your chart is really a plan of all planets, and they are all connected. And you have to look to everything, not only to Aries. And so I cannot say it in any way only for Aries. And if you want to learn more, I have a free webinar about Vedic astrology. It was some weeks ago, and you can also watch the recording if you want. I think I linked it under the video. Okay, hello Johnny. What are your questions? I hear there's good energy there. I wonder if the abductions are real or if they are just making things up to scare and keep people away. Yes, those abductions of ETs, most were really real. But you have to understand that the Greys are not really ETs. The Greys who did those abductions are humans in a parallel version of Earth. And so they have a lot of humans characteristics, and they are often experienced really like they have no emotions. That's not really true, but at this time they might be not as friendly, and they might not have asked as friendly. And some people experience those abductions really like a trauma, and that was not so easy. But on the soul level, you always give your okay for connecting and for having those experiences. And the Greys, they could not, oh, what's the English word? They could not create children anymore, because they it was not possible. The bodies of the Greys get weaker and weaker, because they did not want to feel their emotions. They disconnected from their emotions, and if you disconnect from your emotions, you lost your connection to the planet, and there you get your power. And so they only were really about their mind and thinking, their thinking process, and so the head gets bigger and bigger. That was the focus, and not so much for the bodies, and so they lost the possibility to create children, and then they need to get DNA from some humans so that they can create hybrids. And so they used also, and you can also learn all this here in the card set. And so they created hybrids, and like the Sasani, they are one of the 5 hybrid races they created. And yes, but it was always with the okay of the people that they share their DNA. But those abduction experiences was sometimes really not so um, so like a friend is coming and asking for something. But what I know is really that those experiences are really in the past. They do not are now at this time. It is not needed anymore, our DNA, and it's only it's all about energy now. We can connect with energy and get information or give them informations, and the grace have also evolved, and they are now in a higher level of frequency, and so um, yes, and we have a lot of history together, and so they are not really like the Pleiades or something like this. The Greys are really more human than we think. So, are you familiar with Dan Winter? No, sorry. No, sorry, I'm not. Great chat here. Okay. What is your next question? Which supposed mythology is real, or are all real Egyptian, Vedic, Greek? What's the timeline of each oldest to use? Oh, Twist 3D, that's a big question. I cannot answer it here in the live stream. But those mythologies we have, and also the Bible is really all about the stars. If you read it really conscious, then you can experience that the sun and the moon and all those constellations, you can find it in those stories in the Bible. And also the mythology, they also speak about the energies of the stars. It's really all about the stars, and because it is our, yes, we are so deeply connected. And then they made they made what's the English word? They made stories about those things that happened there, because then we can understand more easy if we have a story. If we only speak of the constellations, we cannot really remember those things, but we make those stories and we experience those stories also in our life, often in another way maybe, but often also all those processes we have to do. We have to be brave and curious in our life, and to face the beast, and then to react. That's really important, and there we can learn a lot in those mythologies, and that's most important. Okay, will it be safe for my family and I to fly in September for my granddaughter's wedding? I think so, Christine. I do not see anything. Just do it, and if it's your highest excitement, then let nothing stop you in any way. That's important, always important. If you feel that's your highest excitement, do it, go for it. But it's always important not to hurt anybody else when you do your highest excitement. Okay, will there really be 5 days or darkness? 5 days, you may 5 days of darkness. No, I made a video in my German channel about the 3 days of darkness. No, it is a process. It is an inner process, an inner shift, what it is all about. I do not see the darkness. Sorry for this. Okay, the Bible is written about Ireland and Scotland. I live in the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden was in the Middle East. It was about, what is it, Mesopotamian or something like this. I do not know the English word, but Sylvia, you wrote, get ready, people don't know what's coming. What's coming? What's coming is this big splitting of the worlds. The splitting of those timelines, and that's really getting faster and faster, and therefore we also fall timeless in this timeless zone. And so it is most important to activate and to understand that those higher timelines, they exist in you, and you only can do this shift in yourself by accessing and adapting to those frequency roles, and therefore is the gamma frequency most important. I hope this can help you to understand this. Okay, the capital of Scotland is Edinburgh, which is really Edinburgh. The fallen angels are from England, which is really angel land. Yes, I think Ireland is really amazing country. I was in Ireland, and I also was in England, in Glastonbury. It is the heart chakra of Europe. It's also amazing, and there is Avalon. And I also have a card in my card deck about Avalon. You can learn a lot. Now I'm looking if I see any more questions. I'm sorry if I do not see everything. And I also have some questions on maybe one more question or two more questions, and I think we have really a lot of time. And I hope this helps you to understand. We have to understand what is coming is really an energetic shift, a big energetic shift. Most important, what you should care for. You should care what you do, and how you adapt to those higher frequency realms, so that you do not be part of this deeper and darker experience of Earth, because there is not only one Earth, there are many Earths, and and those people who will experience those darker sides of the earth, they can experience really more weather, more strong weather patterns, and also other things that are going on. Because the Greys, they also experience something really similar, and their planet ended really toxic, and they have to go inside of the planet to survive. And maybe something like this can also happen with a version of the Earth, when people destroy and pollute the Earth more and more, so that the balance of the Earth cannot be healed anymore. Till today, we cannot heal everything we made up here on Earth, but it is now time to understand this. That's really coming up. Okay, Duncan, Sylvia, what will happen to friends and family who are deep sleep and do not know about the split? What happens to those who are asleep and not awakened when the split happens? Yes, you have to understand that the soul knows everything from everybody, and the soul decides what is most important for this person now, because you only can experience what you are the frequency of. And if your frequency is low, then you need something to experience in this frequency range, because this is the only thing you can experience. It's like we all have a filter, like glasses on, and you cannot see anything that is in another frequency. It is not possible for you. So so you have to understand the 5D Earth is also already here in the here and now, but we cannot experience it because we are not in those frequency range now. And so it is with people who are really um, um, in deep sleep, and they will experience what they need. And it is always their choice. Nobody else can change it for them. You can pray for them. You can do everything you want. You can speak to them, everything. But if they are not ready, you cannot do anything. And this is, we have to understand, it is always the right. It will always happen the right thing. And we all also have to understand we are here on an earthly plane, and everybody is infinite being. You are infinite. I am infinite, and we are always connected. We are always connected in the spiritual world together. There we are so close, and we can experience here on earth different things and maybe shift in other versions of the world where we do not experience us as a person anymore, but in the spiritual world we are deeply connected, and there we always talk together. So it's not needed so much on earth, and everybody can do its job here on earth if it is if you can understand this. There's nothing we can do but God's will. Yes, but we are part of God, so it's also our will. Okay. Dear Sylvia, I have a Sasani daughter. Her name is Edda. How nice. How beautiful. I gave my genes when I was 2 years old in the late 80s. Oh, amazing, amazing. Can you tell more about the hybrid programs with the Greens? Yes, Ola, I would like to tell more, but I think now we have nearly 1 hour, and that's really amazing. You can also look in my card deck. There is more about the hybrid children, and maybe I will make a video about the hybrid children. I made one in German, but I think I have to do more about this because those hybrid children are really amazing. And yes, and so you are really, because I have a lot of Sasani parallel versions, so you are really connected to this energy. Yes, yes, I will tell more about this maybe in further um, uh, video. Have you been to India? No, sorry, not to India. I was in Tibet, and that was really amazing. Also a little bit in Nepal, but not in India. But maybe one day I will come to India also. Okay. Yes, I think that was a lot. And if you have any questions, please write them down, and I will give you a more short updates, like my last garden update. And if you have my newsletter, you know we have a new dog from a shelter dog. She was in a, I do not really know the English word, maybe in a killing station in Spain, and she was there rescued. And till yesterday, we had the Geiger, the dog here at my home, and she's amazing. She's a beautiful soul. We have now 4 dogs, and maybe if I make a garden video, maybe she will switch in the background so you can see her. And if you are interested in any of my courses, please, you can book an initial call, and you can look for my card set. And I wish you a wonderful Sunday. We have here in German evening, and Sylvia, I'm wanting for your Vedic astrology book. Oh yes, my book will come soon. My astrology book will come soon. It is now translated. It is now in the print process, and I think in nearly 3 weeks, maybe my Vedic astrology book will be. Um, you can maybe order it. Yes, thank you so much, and thank you, Floyd, and much greetings to you and to everybody, and have a beautiful and an amazing Sunday. Much love. I love you.
Interest and friendly attention of DNI readers to parts 5 to 1 and 5 to 2 help to correct a number of annoying typos when numbering elements in the previous post. This gave a good incentive to continue the new Earth's matrix topic. As DNI narrated earlier, there are many scenarios of the birth and development of planets and their civilizations in the greater cosmos. Some absolutes, belonging to the supreme hierarchy, unfold their manifestation bodies from the highest dimensions down to the physical plane. In other cases, planets are born from scratch with the help of the noosphere created for this purpose. See our noosphere, DNI, January 9, 2023, and then evolve in the following 100 dimensions. For many reasons, narrated by Disclosure News, our Earth's monad could set in motion its manifestation bodies only down to 5D, since the three-dimensional planet was created by grays, and then occupied by darks. In order for people with a spark in their souls to survive and develop, Gaia had to sacrifice half of her aspects and spiritualize this initially lifeless cosmic body. So 5 races appeared on it, 6th is being born, which will evolve along with the planet. In a single multiverse, Earth's 9 subtle copies have their history. Some have been inhabited by highly developed civilizations for a long time, others, in 4D, 5D, and 6D, are not populated yet, and for many of us will be the next homes. 3D Earth has its own upgrading scenario, which has not logs in the local universe. Its objective is to elevate the planet to 5D and transfer those who are ready for it to this dimension during their lifetime. Then, they will continue to evolve in energy bodies, as many other civilizations did together with their planets. How does this happen? In our universe, one of the 7 that form the greater cosmos, the process consists of 10 stages, from 1D to 100D. Each covers 10 dimensions, which are strictly in order, one after the other, unfold in space. About the same as the elements in 1D, 7D on Earth, see parts 5 to 1 and 5 to 2. At the last stage, the final density accumulates in plasma, the best that was created before, compresses it into singularity, and, in the being form, sends in the next dimension to start the next large circle. And so it repeats 10 times. And always, in the next density, first, a new temporary prototype is created from the plasma energy that has passed all the morphing previously, into which the initial development software is loaded. Then, the prototype enters the blocks with its transformation programs. Force fields are formed where these programs start to work. In the course of it, the prototype is once again split, and one part is sent to life carriers' worlds in different densities, and another one is using for the new planet's matrix building. 10D serves as a transition channel for which the 9th density is the collecting world. Its space accumulates plasma energies for a new dimension with the help of time spin. But before they unfold in the next, 11th dimension, they go through a very sophisticated processing in the border zone. In it, the plasma energies accumulate 10D, first, enter the transport channel, inside which are transformed, and then transferred to a special segment, where the software of time spin is loaded into them and directs them to the next sector. Here, plasma energies are compacted into a subtle substance. Part of it goes back to other life carriers' planets. The second part, later, will be used for 11D matrix construction.
It kicks off in the next sector of the border zone. The energy is split again, accumulated and cyclically transferred to the channel that condenses the plasma core. Special software saturates it with radiant light and translates into an interdimensional crystal, which tightens the entire flow and directs it to the pulsar that distills it again. Having reached the necessary properties, the plasma moves to the next unit, where it condenses anew and enters the distribution network. On that stage, a white dwarf is brought into the process. It creates a special, constricting space that produces the next time spin to move the plasma further into the storage zone. Another distribution network is connected to it, through which part of the flow is transmitted to the planets in higher dimensions, and the main part goes to the new matrix building. Thus, at 11D, all the most valuable and promising substances that were accumulated in the previous 10 densities are squeezed out of the planet's plasma. New programs are being activated for its development. Which ones? One soft closes the channel through which the plasma in the form of particles enter the 11th dimension from 10D, connected to it by an umbilical energy cord. Another program cuts this cord and starts to create new plasma from the particles. The third forms clots. The fourth widens space for them. The fifth builds a new matrix in it. The sixth activates the scenario for new plasma in it. The seventh loads the intelligence's evolving software into the matrix. The eighth builds a steering unit. The ninth forms a field for upgrading the matrix, its space, and the planet in it. The 10th creates fields that can split the planet's plasma to move it to the next, 12th dimension, to a new level of development. The 11th soft performs this action. The inhabitants of the transforming planets pass in their energy and plasma bodies through all these changes on the way to 100D. And they do it together with the Absolute, which also evolves on the path to the source. And this could our scenario of evolution. Don't rush and not speed up the deadlines. All changes will occur in due time. On the subtle plane, intensive work continues, involving many logos, higher aspects of the Pleroma's supreme hierarchs, the external management of Earth, light warriors and light workers. They interact coherently and purposefully, but have to carefully balance their efforts due to the current state and situation on the planet. They change every minute, then in a positive, then in a negative direction, which force to carefully check each step, adjust tactics and strategy from alpha to omega. It's necessary to precisely check everything possible, to take into account literally the smallest factors in the space-time continuum, even surprises, their scale and depth. It may be hard to believe, but they are all planned to identify dormant cells and rot-infected seeds. It is for that purpose that remakes of events are launched, and through a new perception, circumstances are created through which, as in the past, Earth has passed more than once. This is how the negative energies are identified for their annihilating, and not the rot and infection to penetrate into the new Earth's matrix. Appealing to the higher light forces, why they can't do this or that is incorrect and naive. You can't see the entire picture, all the timelines, spaces, dimensions and circumstances in the local universe. Be patient and prudent. Earth is under the highest patronage. We disclose the worst and the best, what we will take with us, and what we will get rid of. As with any transformation, inevitably difficulties emerge. On Earth, they are created by the diversity of its inhabitants. Look around you, how many ignorant, insane, inadequate, and just spiteful people there are. And we must take all energies into account, collective and planetary. Just to break multitude of deeply interwoven threads will do more harm. The consequences will hit like a boomerang, and no one could evade it. Everyone is connected by incarnations, kinship, and many other rooted ties. Touch one string, and there will be a resonance that everyone will have to answer. Energy will reach you, if you have a particle of it. Therefore, we together with everyone are trying to heal the entire Earth and all its inhabitants. To sift out the untreatable and collect it into one of the spheres that is prepared on the subtle plane, where evil can be transmuted and evolved to become good. The necessary energy atmosphere has been created there for that. The anti-karmic reactor, and it is not alone on Earth, collects energies according to their frequencies in different densities, planes, and timelines of the planet. Can you imagine a volume of this work? Of course not. So don't judge what we can't do specifically on Earth. It's only a small part of what is going on in the solar system, galaxies, and entire local universe, which also affects the possibilities and circumstances, cause-effect relationships. And at the end, the news of the last hour. On May 25th at 10:56 a.m. Central European Time, from the pleroma, 14D Earth entered our three-dimensional planet and created its new matrix. The details will follow. To be continued.
Dear brothers of the planet Earth, I see a bit of fear in the hearts of many. I know that you are apprehensive and, at the same time, anxious and curious about what is to come. So I'll do a brief retrospective. Go back to 10 years ago, to 2013, when everything started, and the first step was made for the liberation of this planet. Not the planning, but the actual step. So go back in time. See yourselves in 2013. What did you know, and what did you expect? Many believed 2013 would be the fateful year, but look at what year you are now. Humanity has made a choice, the choice of saving this planet. The request was answered. Today, you are free of everything that blocked your world from the rest of the universe. But unfortunately, the great leaders who implemented that whole process in this country are no longer here. So then, what do we still have today? Their disciples, whose hearts resonate up until now with the energy that they have created. Those are souls who are not their souls anymore. Those are earthly souls and souls of other galactic beings who let themselves be lured by everything they promised and gave. This is the remaining last stage. Yet, for this final stage to take place, it is necessary